In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can make the most use of your off season so you can be prepared and ready to go and have a really great 2022 golf season. So I've got some really good ideas for you to get a solid start. Follow me. We'll do them right after this. Hey, this is Steve from HitItLonger.com. I continue my mission to hit the ball longer and straighter than ever before, not just off the tee, but also coming into the flag. If you're also just trying to see a little bit of improvement this coming golf season, then by all means join me, hit the subscribe button down below. Now, I realize that most of you may not live in abundant sunshine. In fact, you might be in the dead of winter right now, but all of these ideas, I've got 3 categories of ideas that we can talk about today that you can do without even having to step outside and get on a golf course. But I think these are all really great ideas to work on to prepare yourself for the upcoming golf season. All right, number 1 is to check all your basic fundamentals. You know, something that really left an impression on me when I was a kid growing up and reading about, I'd read about Jack Nicklaus. Tiger Woods hadn't really come along yet. So I'm reading about Jack Nicklaus, and what's really shocked me, whenever I thought the game was so hard and complex, read about what Jack Nicklaus would say in the off season when he would go back to visit his teacher, Jack Grout. They would just work on the fundamentals. And that's what you should be doing to make golf a simpler game and not seem so complex. You've really got to go back and check with a precise, trained eye on all your fundamentals of just grip and stance. So here I've got my alignment stick for the stance, but you want to make sure you've got the grip at the base of the fingers. You've got this glued up against like that between the thumb and the side of the hand. Got that real tight. And the hands are opposing and facing the target when you spread them open. So most people play mediocre to poor golf because from the beginning they're just not gripping it right. Now, moving on to the stance, let's make sure everything is going towards your intended line of flight. I see many students that get up and they simply do not line up the club face square to the target, and they've been doing it so long that it starts to feel normal, and now the fix is all of a sudden going to take some work. So I want you can use a tile floor, anything with some stripes on it, some lines on it, and you can check and make sure that you are lining the club, the leading edge of the club up square. Next, using the alignment stick, you can also check and make sure that your feet are where they're supposed to be. I'm using a slightly open stance on this, a 9-iron. Good grip. Good feet. And a green in regulation. One last thing to check and address is distance from belt buckle to butt of the stick. What I find is that a lot of people reach too far. So it's something you want to check just using this simple measurement of a fist and a thumb. Put a fist and a thumb from the belt buckle leading down. See the right distance to the ball. Now, a great tool for practicing in the off season, if it's the middle of winter, you can't get out to a golf course anymore. The full-length mirror, something like this. Really encourage you to use a full-length mirror, or maybe mirrored closet doors, or maybe even the reflection off of a sliding glass door, to practice lining up. Number 1, you're checking for the angle of your bow. Nice straight back. Practice bowing to about 30 degrees. And then simply making sure that the feet, the hips, and the shoulders are all parallel to each other. All right, so step 1 was to check all the fundamentals in the off season. Hey, there's no excuse for at least not stepping up and standing over the ball and gripping it like a pro, even if you're not swinging like a pro yet. All right, step 2 is what I'd call stretch it out. I've got an orange whip here, and I'm going to use this to practice loosening up the body, practice making a longer swing. As most golfers, especially as we get older, we tend to lose some of the length and width of our swing, and it really costs us not just in the distance department, but also hitting the ball, square and in the sweet spot. It makes it a little difficult when the short swing gets short and tight. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go purposely overdo what I want to do on the course. Notice how I'm also unhurried. I'm trying to swing on an even tempo. I'm trying to wind up even further than I would on a golf course. All right, besides the Orange Whip trainer, I really like this device that I created called the Power Coil Pro. Watch this, you just use this to help get a longer, wider position at the top of the swing, and it'll stretch you out. And then you can also kind of develop some kinesthetic sense of where a good swing is. So something like this. Oh, that feels good. And you can really let this thing just stretch you, use the tension in this to just stretch you further and further and further. And eventually you'll be hitting it way farther off the tee with your new longer backswing. Now, the last thing you can work on in the off season to help you get ready for the coming golf season, you have nothing to do, it's the dead of winter, make sure your gear is ready. Now, the average golfer simply just doesn't paying any attention to their gear over the winter. Well, the good golfer does, and that's one of the differences between an average golfer and a good golfer. A good golfer will make sure, number one, see, I've just got a kind of a bristle style sponge here. I'll make sure that their club faces are clean. So I've got a wet, you can use any kind of brush or anything. You're just making sure there's no dirt on the club face, and you also want to get the grooves clean by using, you could use a fingernail, a tee, or there's special brushes out there that I really like that help get all the crud out of the grooves. That'll help make the ball fly straighter, truer, stick on the green better. And then I'll just wipe it down with a towel, just like that. And I'll do the other end too, really important. And you're trying to rub all of the grime and the kind of the sweat is built up, makes the grip kind of dull, kind of shiny looking and very slick. Most average golfers don't ever really pay much attention to their grips, and yet having a grip that's dirty and got lots of layers of crud on it makes it really hard to hit the ball long and straight. Okay, one more thing about your gear that you should be paying attention to during the off season. This will help you also get ready for the golf season is, hey, make sure that you've got a fresh set of spikes on the bottom of your shoes. You've played a full year, and maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. You've probably never changed out your spikes before. You've probably gone the whole time. Your spikes are basically worthless at this point. They need to be kind of tacky and sharp again. Just invest, $15 or $20 into a bag of spikes at the golf store, and go ahead and put them in the bottom of your shoes. Doing all these things is going to help all your gear be ready for the new season so you can perform the best that you can. All right, so now that we've checked our fundamentals, checked our gear, stretched it out, I think you're going to be ready for the coming golf season. And hopefully it's going to be your best one ever. As hopefully it will be for me too. Hey, I'm Steve. Thanks so much for watching. I'm wishing you lower scores and longer drives this coming season. If I can assist you in any way, please email me at steve@hititlonger.com and go check out my website, hititlonger.com, for over 100 great videos and articles that I think are going to help you get better. And as usual, hey, if I don't see you in the next video, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.